Hello everybody, welcome to the Gyrocopter Flying Club and part 4 of the history of the gyroplane. In this film we look at the early days of the sport gyroplane up to its rapid rise in popularity at the end of the 1960s. Igor Benson was a Russian immigrant to America who worked at General Electric assigned to helicopter projects. While there he acquired the use of a salvaged Kellett gyroplane and became quite an accomplished pilot on the machine prior to the end of the Second World War. At war's end, a senior employee at General Electric saw a Hafner rotor chute at an Air Force open house and on his return to work expressed interest in the little aircraft. Benson suggested if they could borrow the example displayed it could be evaluated, so General Electric asked, the military agreed, as long as it didn't get flown. Benson was in charge of its evaluation and inevitably the rotor chute was flown. The rotor chute was a Hafner design that was foot launched and landed. Knowledge gained from the rotor chute allowed Benson to create a wheeled version while at GE. Nothing was to ultimately come of these GE aircraft, and Benson formed his own company in 1953 to build his B-5, a concept he termed the Gyro Glider. Launched in 1954, the Benson Aircraft Corporation introduced this single-seat rotary kite, towed into the air from the back of a vehicle and airborne through auto-rotation of its unpowered rotor. It featured an aluminium frame to form undercarriage and keel, with control via a hanging stick attached directly to the rotor. Sold as a kit or built from plans, it did not require a license to fly, and with ease of construction was usually built within a month or so for less than $100. With further development of an all-Reynolds aluminium prototype B7, the B7M, M standing for motorized, first flew on the 6th of December 1955, and he introduced yet another new word for the same thing. The gyrocopter, which was Benson Aircraft Corporation trademark, just in the same way autogyro, gyro with an I, was for Sierva. He adopted the name to try and capture the interest of the day in the new helicopter. The progression for the B7M was natural enough, with the sales pitch being you could start the aircraft as a gyro glider, and when you saved enough money for a motor, you simply bolt it straight in. The B7M was powered by a 40 horsepower Nelson two-stroke motor with wooden rotors, a hanging stick with a twist grip throttle giving a cruise speed of around 60 miles an hour. The subsequent B8M model improved the original, notably a more conventional centre stick to control the rotor and a 70 horsepower McCulloch two-stroke which came into production in 1957. It became one of the most copied aircraft designs in history and was, like the B7, available in kit form or plan built. It sparked the imagination, and not since the Flying Flea of 1933 had the average Joe believed he too could realise his dream of flying. It naturally became a very popular way to fly. Benson not only created the new category of aircraft, but created an entire movement along with it as he formed the US-based but internationally reaching Popular Rotorcraft Association, the PRA, in 1962. Although Benson aircraft were to dominate for the next quarter of a century, the B8 was incrementally developed by amateur builders. Notable success was the change to a floor-mounted control stick that would make the transition for existing pilots easier, because quite a lot of experienced pilots were getting hurt with the use of the hanging T-bar. In the UK, Campbell Aircraft were the importer of Benson product, and the UK gyroplane market was growing too, with a variety of builders also looking to improve the design. Chief amongst the wish list was a pre-rotator and more reliable power, with many experimenting with VW Beetle automotive engines and even rockets to assist rotor spin-up. However, it was Ken Wallis who first gained traction. Wing Commander Wallis was in America on tour with the Royal Air Force in 1958 and purchased some plans for a B-7M, When he returned home to build it, he felt that improvement could be made with modification, replacing the overhead stick, a more effective rotor head, more instrumentation, and fuel tanks on either side for balance. Ultimately, he designed his own machine, the WA-116. The 116 was tested by the British military in the winter of 1962-63, but ultimately settled on the Bell 47, largely due to weather protection and the fact that the added kit degraded the performance of the gyroplane more than it did the Bell 47. However, the aerodynamically podded version of the 116 found fame with its appearance in the James Bond film in 1967, and that fueled not only the interest in the gyroplane, but rapid design and development commenced in a very unsuitable environment subsequently. In part 5 we look at these developments, the high accident rate, and how the gyroplane went from hero to become viewed as a death trap.